Touchdown, Shallowater Mustang. Jakari Davis, and he threw it out of the gym. We'll shoot the three. Nobody came to stop her, and Jenna Williams. Hello and welcome. Good morning on a Saturday morning. We are in the Horseshoe in Shallowater, the Shallowater Phillies home opener as Chuck Darden and his Shallowater Phillies begin their march towards hopefully another chance at a state championship, as the head man will be on the bench for the 41st season, and his Phillies check in the top 5 in the state again. I'm Donnie Hart. Thanks for joining us, folks. Good matchup here today. Shallowater Phillies, Lubbock High Lady Westerners, an improved Lubbock High Lady Westerners team. And for the Shallowater Phillies, they get a chance to play some basketball in front of a home crowd for the first time this season. The season kicked off on Tuesday, and the Phillies got a huge win in Andrews. Check out this score, 67-1. In case you were wondering, the Phillies defense was suffocating. Now, obviously, Andrews a little bit underperformed to usual expectations, but they were overwhelmed by this Shallowater defense, and the Phillies allowed only 3 field goal attempts. Andrews went 1 of 5 at the free throw lines, thus the 1 point, but Shallowater with a commanding 48-1 lead at the half took it lightly in the second half and got the victory to the house. Shot at 40% from the field, 42% from behind the arc, and 60% at the free throw line. They were led by Bree Bratton, who had 13. Avery Terrell chipped in with 12. Jenna Willer had 11. Avery Velasquez with 9. Mackie Hart and Chloe McKinney each with 5, along with Addison Pitts. 4 for Jasmine Castillo, 3 for Madeline Barnes, and Shelby Roberts added 2 points. Macy Moravik chips in with an assist, a steal, and a couple of rebounds. So the Phillies, they get off to a great start. And, for head coach Chuck Darden, he knows, listen, last year's title defense, they were the #1 team in the state all season long, won 28 consecutive games last season before falling in the regional championship game to the eventual state champions, Brownfield Lady Cubs. And for Coach Darden, in most programs, it would be time to rebuild, because I'll tell you who's not walking through that door. Tinley Harris, not walking through that door. Taylor Moravik, not coming through that door. Cammie Wood, Summer Williams. Some old war horses that won a lot of basketball games for the Shallowater Phillies graduated and gone. But what's different about, Shallowater than most places, it's not time to rebuild. We just reload. The Phillies have a lot of youth. They have some girls that have been on the varsity ready to expand their roles. They've got tons of athleticism. They can really move the basketball up and down the floor, and they have a couple of real leaders bringing them back and teaching them how to play Philly basketball, and that's going to be critical. When we got a chance, though, to sit down with head coach Chuck Darden on Chuck Darden's backstage pass and find out what his thoughts are on this year's Shallowater Phillies. Welcome to the Backstage Pass with head coach Chuck Darden of the Shallowater Phillies. And, Coach, this is 41st campaign for you coming up. You guys have had an unbelievable run the last couple of years. And I know last year's season ended shorter than we expected. You lost 1 game all season long. There was a lot of pressure, a lot of things going on last year, a lot of accomplishments and distractions. But, let's just talk about how great that title defense was for you and how great the season was last year.
Well, thanks, Donnie, and thanks for having me. It was I tell people last year's team may have been the best team I've ever coached. It honestly was. We just lost 1 game. It was a tough one to lose. Yep. Lost to the state champs by 5, and we're still not over it yet, because right. I think our kids and a lot of the kids that are back on the team know that just wasn't our best game. Not taking anything away from Brownfield, they're good, but it was a tremendous season and all the things that we accomplished, and I just couldn't have been prouder of the team, and those kids just won the state championship the year before, and like I said, I probably would think the Brownfield Shallowater game was state championship game. That's just my opinion, but I think it was, and we came up a little bit short that night. But man, what a year!
Yeah, what a year! And we lose some incredible war horses from that team.
So you're going into your 41st season. You've won 1,000 games. You've done just about everything there is for girls basketball. And you lose all that talent from a year ago, and it looks like maybe expectations start to slide. The Phillies don't really ever rebuild. You guys are already ranked in some polls in the top 5, and you got a really exciting young group of Phillies to come up and contribute this year.
We do. I'm excited about the team. You know, it's a different team. We lost 4 great players, you know, and that had done a lot for us throughout the years, and we certainly miss them. But I think we've got kids that are ready to fill that role, and we're a little bit different. We were little last year, and we're even smaller this year. But
Yeah.
The speed that we have from our young kids is great. I think our press is going to be outstanding this year. It has to be. Our kids know that. But it's going to be a fun team to watch and a fun team to play on and a fun team to coach, I'm going to tell you.
Well, Coach, you know, you lose a lot of experience and some old war horses that played a lot of basketball for you, won a lot of games. But you've got a couple of seniors come back that have been starters now for 3 years. You have a number of other players that have been a part of that state championship team that are still here and now are stepping into the spotlight on the varsity. And just talk about how important it's going to be for the likes of Bree Bratton, Jenna Willer, Avery Velasquez to lead this young group of Phillies and teach them how to play Phillies basketball.
Well, we're lucky we've got those 3 seniors, and they've all got a lot of game experience, all 3 of them. Like I said, of course, we know Bree, just a great scorer for us and does a lot of stuff, not just scoring. Jenna, I think she's going to be an outstanding point guard, which, you know, Tinley Harris did that the last 3 years when Jenna was on varsity. But Jenna played it a lot too, and it's going to be her job now, 100%. Avery can score, just had a great scrimmage against Monterey. But the main thing those seniors have to do is every team starts with senior leadership and experience, and I think those 3 kids are going to do an outstanding job leading that team.
Yeah, and so, you know, let's talk about this. You know, the Phillies, the goals are always high around here. You've got this young basketball team, 41st season. You know, do you change anything up? What is the message with the team as far as, hey, this is the blueprint. This is how we get to San Antonio.
Well, you know, I've said for years, you could probably go back and watch the tape 30 years ago and go, well, they're running basically the same stuff. And,
right.
You know, sure, we'll have some wrinkles on this year and do some things maybe here and there a little bit different. But basically, we're going to play man D, 55 press, and we're going to run some flex and 5 out and do our normal stuff. And so, you know, I believe that's part of the program is, you know, we teach our 7th graders, I always say 60% of the things that our varsity's doing. And I think that as they go along, they just get better and better at it. So we're not going to change a whole lot of things.
Yep.
And may have a wrinkle or 2 for everybody, especially when we get in district play.
Right.
But I think just being simple and doing the things that the kids are comfortable with helps you win.
Well, the proof's in the pudding. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Since this is the Backstage Pass, and you're such a music connoisseur, I think our folks at home would be interested in what's one of the songs that's at the top of Chuck Darden's playlist?
Well, as everybody knows, Van Halen's probably my favorite. But, you know, if I was going to say, Donnie, listen to a song, you know, the Rolling Stones lost their drummer, Charlie Watts. And so I'd say one of my favorite Rolling Stone songs is Brown Sugar.
Okay.
And so everybody go tune up a little Brown Sugar in memory of Charlie Watts.
Well, that's great advice. Coach, good luck this season.
Thanks,
we'll talk
Donnie.
more soon. And go get them on Saturday and beat those Lubbock High Lady Westerners.
Appreciate it.
You bet.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the Horseshoe in Shallowater. Donnie Hart on Shallowater Sports Network. That was head coach Chuck Darden on the Andrus Brothers Roofing pregame show. And you can tell in his voice he's excited about what he has with this Shallowater Phillies basketball team. Got a lot of youth, got a lot of upside. But let's take a look at a couple of those headliners that Coach welcomes back for their senior season. Some guys that have done a lot of things at Shallowater Phillies. And let's start things off with Bree Bratton. Bree, 16.9 points per game a year ago, 6.3 rebounds, 2.4 steals, 43% field goal shooter, and made 33% of her three-pointers. She is a 3-time All-State selection, the 2020 Texas Association of Basketball Coaches Player of the Year, the 2020 Long Star Player of the Year, and a 2021 Texas Girls Coaches Association All-Star Game MVP. Now, Bratton steps into a huge role here as the leader of this Shallowater Phillies. She moved back as a sophomore and came in, had to fit into a group that was already kind of made. She did. She became kind of the headline scorer of that group, but still, Bratton was outstanding in terms of performance last year. She led the Phillies all the way to that regional final and just didn't quite get over that Brownfield hump, and as it was a heck of a game at the Tiger Pit in Friendship. But Bree ready to lead her troops back to San Antonio this season. Along with Bree in her senior season, another Philly who has played tons of basketball here, the third member of that Willer triumvirate, Jenna Willer, the baby sister of the group, with 6.9 points per game. That's not her deal. 3 assists, that is her deal. Jenna is the point guard deluxe for this Shallowater Phillies team. And the other thing, the little 5'4" guard, and they say 5'4" in the program, it's closer to 5'2". She will defend you all the way end to end, 55 feet, as Coach Darden likes to say. So 2 steals a game for Jenna. She's a 40.6% field goal shooter, 23.4% from three-point line. She is an all-state selection in 2020, an all-state tournament team member in 2020 when the Phillies captured that state championship. She was the district defensive MVP a year ago and an 806 all-star team selection for the Shallowater Phillies. And I'll tell you, for Jenna, her role on this basketball team simple. She's going to be at the controls of the offense, get the Phillies set, get these young guys understanding where they need to be, how they need to move that basketball, and how the offense needs to go in order to get the best option on the floor available, and that will put the Phillies in prime spot to win basketball games. And so look for those 2 seniors especially to be big leaders for head coach Chuck Darden this year. And a lot of other members of the Shallowater Phillies will contribute as the year goes along, but those 2 really step to the forefront coming into their senior season. Well, the time is winding down. Warm-ups are just about over. We're going to step away here. Thanks for joining us on the Andrus Brothers Roofing pregame show. When we come back, we'll have the starting lineup and tip-off of your Shallowater Phillies against the Lubbock High Lady Westerners on the Shallowater Sports Network.
Honey, can we please just call D&K Hunt?
I can do this.
Yeah, I'm calling D&K Hunt Electric.
When you need electrical work done, leave it to the professionals and call D&K Hunt Electric, 806-866-9911.
Andrus Brothers Roofing, we nail it every time, every time. We do one thing and we do it well. Since 1981, yes, time does tell. It's not just a house, it's your home. For quality work, we stand alone. Andrus Brothers Roofing, we nail it every time. Quality guarantee, Andrus Brothers Roofing, every time.
If you're thinking of getting a new car, stop in and see us about an auto loan. Line up your money first, then go out and bargain like a cash buyer. Our rates are competitive and we make our decisions right here, so we give you quick service on auto loans. Auto loans, we do them well. We're First State Bank of Shallowater, member FDIC.
Our financial world seems to be forever changing, and that's why you need quality, personalized financial advice. Bennett & Trice, PLLC, provides individual and business clients with expertise that range from taxes, management, and accounting services to more in-depth services such as compiled and reviewed financial statements and litigation support. Bennett & Trice, 6807 Indiana Avenue, Suite 200. Call them today at 806-589-5111.
Life has been anything but normal. The future is unknown and the uncertainties are plenty. But a farmer deals with this every year, and they keep working hard. At People's Bank, we strive to live out those same values. It's easy for a banker to be there in the good times.
But at People's Bank, we're there when the rain isn't falling, the wind keeps blowing, and the drought continues.
People's Bank, a bank in the people business.
shoot the three. Nobody came to stop her, and Jenna Willer. Welcome back to the Horseshoe in Shallowater, the Shallowater Phillies home opener tonight, or this afternoon, against the Lubbock High Lady Westerners. And let's meet the starting lineup for the Lubbock High Lady Westerners. Head coach Brent Palmer, District 4-5A representative with 6 wins and 2 losses. And the starting lineup looks like this. Number 1, a 5'6" freshman, Izzy Palmer. Number 3, a 5'11" freshman, Macaelyn Marshall. Number 12, a 6-foot freshman, Faith Ford. Number 13, a 5'8" junior, Aowen Shires. Number 21, a 5'7" senior, Allie Martinez, will be the 5 on the floor for head coach Brent Palmer and his Lubbock High Lady Westerners. And for your Shallowater Phillies, led by Chuck Darden in his 41st season, a 1-0 record, the starting 5 looks like this. Number 5, a 5'9" junior, Shelby Roberts. Number 11, a 5'4" senior, Avery Velasquez. Number 12, a 5'4" senior, All-State guard, Jenna Willer. Number 14, a 5'8" junior, Madeline Barnes. And number 23, a 5'8" senior, the MVP. Bree Bratton, the Splash Sister, will be the 5 Phillies for head coach Chuck Darden here in the home opener. And as you'll notice, out on the floor, Phillies got some bad news, injury news. One of our really bright sophomores, Molly Salinas, lost for the season in Andrews due to a knee injury, and so we want to wish Molly a speedy recovery. She will grind, she will get better, but just a bad break for her and really bad for the Phillies because Molly is a special player, easy to play with. She's a 5'9", kind of inside-outside player that shares the basketball. She can shoot it from distance, has a nice post game, and so she will be missed, and the Phillies will look forward to getting her back, but she'll be a great leader for this Shallowater team on the bench and supporting her team, and so we are all hanging with Molly here at Shallowater Phillies and helping her to a speedy recovery. But we are just about set. Phillies in their home whites, white uniforms, red and black trim, that red and black Mustang known all throughout the South Plains. And Shelby Roberts steps into the center circle to jump. She'll do so against Faith Ford. And the ball is in the air, and we are underway as Ford grabs the tip, and the referee says, now wait a minute, let's try this again. Now they'll say an illegal tip or an over and back or something crazy. Ball never really left the circle, so confusing. So it'll be Shallowater basketball. And Madeline Barnes across the way will send it in to Willer. And the Phillies bring it in the front court for the first time. Velasquez on the right wing, underneath to Bratton on the low block, trying to power it up. Couldn't get it up to the rim. Ball is loose, rebound Lubbock High. Palmer into the front court. Now swings to the right side, Shires. Shires with Willer all over, and Jenner reaches in and has the tie ball. Possession arrow to the Phillies, and so it'll be Shallowater basketball as that defense picks up where it left off from Tuesday night in Andrews. So we talked in the pregame, Willer at the controls at point guard. Now comes to Bratton right side. Bratton to the top to Willer. Thought about that three, turned it down. Phillies being patient, trying to look for a good shot. It'll be Velasquez off the screen from the right wing. Too strong. High for the rebound on the far side is Marshall. And the Westerners push it up the floor. Palmer tried to thread the needle ahead to Ford, and the ball was tipped. Goes out of bounds on the baseline. Last touch by the Lady Westerners. Phillies basketball. Now the Shallowater crowd will stay on their feet until the Phillies score. So that's why you see some tops of the heads in the shot. As Bratton over to Willer. Willer into the front court. Free path to the paint. Pull-up jumper, good. And Jenna Willer will set the Philly faithful down and give Shallowater a 2-point lead. The Phillies will press. Marshall into Palmer. Palmer guarded by Velasquez. Lost the handle. Now the trap comes from Robert. Ball is knocked loose, and Roberts banged into her, so it'll be a foul on Shelby. First personal, team foul number 1. Shelby didn't quite get set. Too much momentum as she came over to set that trap and collided with Palmer. So Lady Westerner basketball in front of their bench. Palmer into backcourt. Goes to the center. Bratton tips it. Roberts out of there with it. Back to Bratton. Bree off the glass good. 4-0. Bratton from Roberts after Bree gets the steal. Martinez threw it away over on the far side. She was trying to get it to Palmer up that sideline. Just too much pace on it. Bangs off the table over there that falls down. That's a media table set up for visiting crews. Nobody here from Lubbock High doing the radio or the TV, so thing falls on the floor, and Willer will bring it into the front court with the Phillies in a 4-point lead. Velasquez in the near corner. Willer drive down the right side of the lane, traveled. Kind of got caught in between bounces there. Ball just kind of stuck on her hip, maybe had an extra half step. Turnover, Lady Westerners into Palmer. Palmer right back to Marshall. Marshall going to work against Roberts. The Phillies all over Lubbock High, and the count getting close. Velasquez reaches in and is called for the reach. That's Avery's first, team foul number 2. And the Westerners in front of the scorer's table to send it in. That foul might have bailed out Palmer, who was getting close to that 10-second violation. Palmer got a screen at the top of the key to get her free, but Shallowater just exchanges there. Nice job of talking, communicating. Down low and a travel. Shuffled her feet. Faith forward on the low block. Turned into the defense. Madeline Barnes right there in strong position. And the Phillies force the turnover. Willer dribbles through traffic. Into the lane, out to Roberts. Baseline jumper, good. Shelby Roberts from the short corner, and a timeout as Brent Palmer wants to talk about it. The Phillies pick up right where they left off from Tuesday night. 6-0 run here to start this thing, and that Shallowater defense, intense. They will guard you end to end, and the bad news for Lubbock High is there's about 5 more over there that fit the same mold. More than that, actually. There's 7 over there on the side. There's 12 of these Phillies on the roster this year, and all of them pride themselves in defense. They are all athletic, and they really can interchange parts. Now, you heard Coach Darden in the pregame show talk about last year. Hey, we were small. This year, we're even smaller. But what we lack in height, we make up for in speed. This team can really go, and they pick the pace up, and it is overwhelming to most of these teams that they will face this season. Marshall trying to go against Barnes. Now, you see there, Barnes, one of those guys that, and we got a timeout, some water got spilled on the floor, and so officials timeout to clean that up. But you see Madeline Barnes there. She's a Shallowater big, guarding end to end. Shelby Roberts a post. You've seen her in the full court press, in the full in guarding. So those guys are expected to guard everywhere on the floor. Long straight on look at a 3 is knocked down by Allie Martinez. She'll cut the Philly lead in half, 6-3. That's a good shot by Martinez. Caught it in rhythm, knocked it down. Willer on the drive, down the lane, pull up with the right hand, 8-3. Jenna's got 4. She'll have to pick up more of a scoring load than she's had in years past, and Willer going to be called for that foul there. She tried to contest that pass and really came down really on the legs of Shires, and it just knocked her out of bounds, so they had to call the foul there as we get a couple of subs in for Lubbock High. Vanessa Garza has checked into the game for the Lady Westerners. So Palmer to this near side. It's Garza. Garza goes back to Martinez. Another 3 to tie. Too strong off the back iron. Willer in for the rebound. Willer got caught trying to send it ahead. The Phillies turn it over. Martinez, cross-court pass. Palmer from the deep corner for 3. Air ball and right into the waiting arms of Michaela Marshall, who puts it in off the glass for the easy bucket. 8-5. The Phillies get caught in a little transition there. Barnes ahead after the baseball pass from Willer, gives it to Velasquez off the glass, and the Phillies shred the press and get an easy 2. 10-5 here early in the first. A couple of Phillies waiting at the table. Macy Moravik and Mackie Hart wait to check in. It'll be Willer into the front court. She'll dish it off to Velasquez. Velasquez with a little pump fake and got tied up. No foul call. Thought she was going to get the foul call on the shot but it was Marshall who reached in there and got all ball, the officials say. Possession arrow belongs to the Lady Westerners as Avery Terrell joins Moravic and Hart checking into the game. They'll join Willer and Bratton, who stay on the floor. Garza had it tipped loose briefly. Marshall, top of the key. It's Ford down the lane. Terrell tried to draw the charge, and an air ball headed towards that far corner. And that was Hart and Marshall over there banging for the rebound. The ball is out of bounds as Marshall stepped on the line, turnover to the Phillies. 10-5, ball up the floor to Terrell. Terrell all the way to the basket, was bumped and fouled, and Allie Martinez caught her with the body. So that'll be the first personal on the 5'7" senior. First team foul for the Lady Westerners. Shooting foul sends Avery Terrell to the line to shoot 2. The 5'5" junior knocks down the first. 11-5 Phillies, 3:17 to go here in the opening quarter. Terrell's second, too strong. Long rebound, Martinez gathers, outlet to Palmer, and the Lady Westerners push it into the front court. Well, the faster the tempo is, the better the Phillies like it. I'll say that. Garza now gives to Ford. Ford comes to Palmer on the near side. And they're going to call an offensive foul on Ford, who used the body to spin away from Macy Moravic, but used a little too much body there, and is called for the personal. Her first, team foul number 2. Martinez will check out as Shires checks back in for the Lady Westerners, who trail by 6. Willer to Bratton over on the left wing. Bratton down low. Block shot from Terrell, and now the Westerners run. Marshall picked up by Moravic. Now Garza on the near side. Back to Marshall, a long 3, good. Straight on, look at it, and she knocked it down. It's 11-8, 3-point game. Told you this Lady Westerner basketball team was much improved with that 6-2 record. They lost a lot last year, a couple of all-district seniors, but Bratton tries to force it up, couldn't get it down. Ball is outlet to Marshall. Marshall running into the front court. Moravic scrambles back to help Willer in transition. Garza's jumper too strong. Willer with the board. Knocked to the floor is Willer, who's trying to fight through hands and arms, and a personal foul called, I believe. They called the foul on Michaela Marshall. So first personal, team foul number 3. Willer will get her first breather as Barnes checks in. So Madeline Barnes will go from playing big to running the point for the Phillies. Jasmine Castillo waits at the table to come for Shallowater. Terrell on the right wing. Up to the top to Bratton. She'll try from distance. That one lips out. Terrell high for the rebound. Garza stripped it away. Garza ahead to Marshall. Marshall contested by Barnes. Now over on the right side, Shires double dribble. Had the pump fake, said, I got the blow by. You already used your dribble though. Castillo in for Terrell with 1:43 to go here in the first, an 11-8 Phillies lead. Barnes to Bratton, left wing. Pump fake the 3. Now up to the top, Barnes. Barnes now has Hart on the right wing. Mackey underneath the Bree. Bree goes to work on the low block. Turnaround jumper wouldn't go down. And a rebound for Lubbock High. That was Ford who goes high to get it. Garza into the front court. Now Ford's jumper on its way short, and the rebound kicks out of bounds. Shallowater basketball. Hectic pace here in the first quarter. Kiara Hernandez checks into the game for Lubbock High. Chloe McKinney will come for Bree Bratton to give Bree a breather. So it's Barnes, Hart, Moravic, McKinney, and Castillo on the floor for the Phillies, who lead by 3. Madeline all the way to the basket with the left hand, and a block called on Palmer, who tried to step in and take the charge, just got there late. And Madeline Barnes will go to the line to shoot 2. First personal on Palmer, team's 4th, and Madeline will get 2 here. 5'8" junior hits nothing but net on the front end. 4-point Phillies lead. And a perfect trip, 2 of 2 for Madeline Barnes at the free throw line. Cano checks in for the Lady Westerners. Into Palmer. Palmer up the far side. Hart guards her. End to end. Palmer trying to go towards the baseline. Now back out. Garza. Left wing 3 on its way from Hernandez and got it. 2-point lead, 13-11. Madeline into the front court, up the left side. Moravec now tried to entry pass into Barnes, and a hold is called as Madeline got knocked to the floor. And let's see who the foul is on. It is on number 15. That is Cano, her first personal. Team foul number 5. Addison Pitts in for Macy Moravec. Mackey Hart on the baseline to send it in for the Phillies with 39.4. Hart into Barnes. Now Castillo on the baseline. Up to the top, Pitts to Barnes on the far corner and a travel. Took that little extra slide step on the dribble by and got called. She put it on the floor with that left hand, tried to go baseline. Just a little extra shuffle. 2-point game. Hart trying to guard end to end. Is all over Cano on that far side. Errant pass headed towards the baseline, last touched by Madeline Barnes. And it'll be Lady Westerner basketball under the baseline. 16.9, 2-point game, 13-11. Willer runs to the table to check in. She'll come for Madeline Barnes. And Madeline will get a quick breather. The final 16.9 here of this opening quarter. Palmer from the baseline. Lobs it up to the top, Garza. Palmer will come get it with 12. Westerners going for the last shot here. Gentry to Cano. Cano back to Hernandez, and the Westerners going to dribble it out. Maybe Palmer shoots a desperation 3, just flung it up there, and it almost went in. Well, that'll do it for a quarter. Phillies, 2-point lead, 13-11 on the Shallowater Sports Network.
Honey, can we please just call D&K Hunt?
I can do this.
Yeah, I'm calling D&K Hunt Electric.
When you need electrical work done, leave it to the professionals and call D&K Hunt Electric, 806-866-9911.
Welcome back to the Horseshoe in Shallowater. I'm Donnie Hart here on the Shallowater Sports Network, and we take a look at this score after a quarter. Phillies 13-11. Shallowater led with 4 points from Jenna Willer, 2 from Roberts, 2 from Velasquez, 2 from Barnes, and 2 from Bratton in that first period. 1 point from Avery Terrell. Couple of rebounds from Willer, has a couple of steals in it as well, as Jenna has done just about everything. It's been 5 points from Michaela Marshall to lead the Lady Westerners. Allie Martinez with the 3, and Kiara Hernandez has the 3. So the Phillies will send the starting 5 back out on the floor here to start the second. It'll be Shallowater basketball. Barnes, Willer, Bratton, Robertson, Velasquez for Shallowater. Palmer, Shires, Marshall, Ford, and Martinez, the starting 5 for the Lady Westerners. Bratton drives down the left side of the lane, used the left hand, wild shot, wouldn't go down, and the rebound and outlet pass thrown away. Great job there by Shires to run that down as Ford slung it over towards that far side, and it was headed out of bounds. Good job to save the possession. Martinez working against Bratton. Double team there and a travel. Barnes comes off of Marshall. They put the double team clamps on. Force the turnover. 2-point game. Set early here in the second quarter. 7.5 minutes to go. Phillies home opener. Shallowater 1-0, just their second game of the season, so still working through some kinks. Bratton's jumper bangs off the glass, no good. Palmer with the board. Palmer's pass tipped by Velasquez. Bratton will bring it into the front court. She's on the right wing. Thought about the three. Now we'll give it to Willer at the top of the key, and the Phillies will set up the offense. Shallowater by 2 as this Philly offense looking to kind of get kick-started here in the half court. Lubbock High has done a good job of getting back in transition. Willer, a long three from the corner is good. And Jenna Willer now with 7 to lead the Phillies 16-11. Shallowater by 5 as Willer connects from downtown on the baseline. Palmer picked it up in the backcourt. That's a no-no against the Phillies. Marshall in real trouble and a timeout from Coach Palmer, who was trying to avoid that backcourt time violation. And so he will save the possession with a 30-second timeout. So 6.5 to go here, 5-point game. And it has been Willer who has been outstanding in this first half. She has done just a little bit of everything, a couple of rebounds, a couple of assists, but 7 points. And we talk about a lot, you know, Jenna's game really hasn't been scoring throughout her Phillies career. This is a kid who came up on the varsity as a freshman and, you know, has played a ton of basketball, but there were other scorers here. There was Tinley Harris, there was Bree Bratton, there's been Taylor Moravec, so there were people to get the ball to that could put it in the bucket, and so Jenna's job was to facilitate. A lot of those names I said are gone, and so Willer will have to pick up some of the scoring load this year if the Phillies offense is going to pick up where it left off, and she's done a fine job here early in this first half in the home opener with 7 to lead the way for Shallowater. Palmer guarded end-to-end. Velasquez. Barnes coming to trap. Palmer in all kinds of trouble over on that far side. Got it to the center to Ford. Ford now to Martinez on the baseline. Jumper too strong. Rebound tipped around. Pulled down by Marshall. She goes right back up, and the shot is blocked from Shelby Roberts. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll be Lubbock High basketball. As Roberts knocked it out of bounds, the referee mistakenly pointed towards Shallowater. Now it is Lubbock High basketball. Palmer will inbounds on the baseline. Tries to lob it into Marshall. Now out to Ford. Pull-up jumper good. Nice little mid-range jumper knocked down. And the official timeout there, the ball went up the tunnel, and that's a delay of game warning. As the referee said, nah, man, you got to leave that thing alone. Can't touch it. So 6:07 to go, 3-point game. 16-13 here in the first half. Willer on the right wing, gets a screen from Barnes. Now up to the top, Roberts. Entry pass into a cutting. Velasquez is just tipped away, and Palmer scrambles to the loose ball. She'll find Martinez in the left corner. Martinez on the drive, had it poked from behind by Willer. Bratton scrambles, now Willer retrieves ahead to Velasquez on the run out, layup, 4-2. 18-13, 5-point lead. Marshall to Shires, almost stolen by Bratton. Shires from the free throw line, wide right, got her own board. Marshall, top of the key, tries a three. That one bangs off the glass. Long board, Ford and Velasquez dive for it over on that far side. It goes out of bounds. Last touch by, couldn't see which way he pointed. Garza checking in for Shires. I guess he's saying Lubbock High basketball. So Vanessa Garza checks back in. Macy Moravec will also come for the Phillies as Shelby Roberts will get a breather here with 5:17 to go in the first half. Moravec trying to guard Martinez. Now Palmer on the left wing. She's got a nice little handle. Hadn't been able to do much with it, though. Can't get much penetration into the defense. Bratton blocks that shot from Ford, and Barnes gets the loose ball. Willer up the far side. Bratton, left wing three, on its way, short. And that ball kicks out of bounds. So Bree just can't quite find the rhythm today. A little bit off, but she is a streak shooter. That's just one of those deals. You just got to let her go. Here in a minute, she'll see one go down, then it'll be 2, 3, 4, and so on. And the Lady Westerners will be in trouble, but you got to keep letting Bree go. Palmer might have carried it, picked it up. They didn't call it. Garza back to Palmer, and the Lady Westerners will go to work. Garza in the far corner, back to Palmer. Palmer on the right wing. Gives it up Garza. Garza guarded by Willer. Entry pass into Ford, knocked out of there by Bratton. Lubbock High crowd wanting an off-ball foul as the Phillies scrambling down low to try to guard those bigs. A lot of banging around going on down low. No calls from the officials, all clean, but they want that foul, no doubt about it. Lob it in, Marshall tried to pin Barnes. His pass was too tall there. Now Palmer on the drive, pulls up at the free throw line, got it. 18-15. Bratton on the right wing. Screen from Moravec. Ooh, soft pass up to the top. Martinez able to knock it free and has the steal. Martinez, good job by Barnes to get back there to prevent the layup. Cross-court pass goes through the hands of Garza. Willer never touched it, and it'll be Phillies basketball. Lubbock High trying to say Willer touched it, but she did a nice little side step there, Euro step that ball, if you will. Terrell checks in for Bratton. Hart will come for Barnes. And it's a three-point game at 18-15, and so you got Hart, Willer, Moravec, Velasquez, and Terrell on the floor for the Phillies. Gentry waits at the table to come next dead ball for the Lady Westerners. And a defensive foul called there as Mackie Hart was setting the screen on this near side trying to free up Avery Terrell, and a foul called on Lubbock High. Foul was on Marshall, her second personal. Team foul number 6, so the Phillies will shoot next time. Moravec on the left wing. Gentry has checked in for the Lady Westerners. Velasquez on the bounce, drives into the lane, threw it up off the glass, rims out. Ford with the rebound. Outlet ahead to Garza. Willer is back on transition D. Garza will pull up. The shot is too strong, and flying in for that rebound was Moravec and knocked it out of bounds. Last touch by Macy. Lubbock High basketball, and Macy might have caught a shoulder on the nose there. She's kind of wiping her face a little bit to make sure it's not bleeding. We're all good. Palmer. Inbound to Gentry. Gentry trapped in the corner, had Hart and Terrell and traveled. Little double team trap causes you to lose your balance, and that pivot foot goes to sliding, and you're all kinds of trouble. So the defense has done a good job. It's been the offense that just can't quite get a bucket going. There's not been a whole lot of rhythm here in the half court, and Lubbock High has done a good job of keeping this thing from turning into a transition game. Velasquez up to the top. Willer on the drive. Pull up. Jumper. No good. Ford with another rebound. Outlet to Palmer. We'll go half court this time for the Lady Westerners as the Phillies are back. Martinez against Hart. Drives in the lane. Lost the handle. Moravec with the steal and then is just kind of tripped up there. I think it was incidental. Feet just kind of got tangled up, but Martinez will be called for the personal. It is the 7th team foul, so we'll walk down here and shoot 1-1 for Macy Moravec. That's the second on Martinez. And Martinez limping as she comes to the sideline as Vanessa Garza checks in. Bratton and Barnes come for Willer and for Avery Terrell. And so Macy Moravec will shoot the front end of a 1-1 with a 3-point Phillies lead with 2:46 to go in the first half. Moravec's free throw off to the right. Ford with the rebound. Outlet ahead to Palmer. Moravec over, has the tip. Ball is on the deck. Macy reaching in over the top. Palmer shuffles her hands, and now Bratton reaches in and is credited with the tie ball. Lubbock High wishing they could get some calls there. Shelby Roberts for Macy Moravec. Three-point lead. Hernandez into Palmer. Palmer up to the top, Gentry. Back cut, good cut from Garza. Caught Barnes peeking, but the pass from Gentry was off target. Turnover. So the Phillies will take it. 3-point lead, 2:22 to go, second quarter. Barnes, Bratton, jumper on its way, good. And that looked pure. Caught it in rhythm, hit the back of the rim, straight down, 20-15, 5-point lead, and watch Bree heat up. Forward shot, too strong. Bratton high for the rebound, battling with it underneath. They'll call the tie ball as Gentry reaches across to call it. Bratton said, hey, man, I had position and the ball. She's reaching across me. But the arrow points in the direction of the Phillies anyway, so it'll be Shallowater basketball. Only thing is there, you lose the possession arrow. Hate to see that. Bratton A great free throw shooter, was hoping for a little foul there. It would have walked the distance for a 1-and-1. Bree on the left wing. Needs help, comes to the top to Roberts. Roberts underneath to Hart, who cuts in with the right hand, and it wouldn't go as she is fouled and will go to the line. Mackie Hart with a strong cut, missed it off the glass. Didn't quite get the roll. Shires called for his first personal. Team foul number 8. This is a shooting foul, 2 shots for the sophomore. Free throw number 1, a little too strong, off to the left, no good, 20-15. 5-point Phillies lead, and Hart will get another. Free throw number 2 on its way good. 6-point lead, 21-15. Mackey 1 out of 2 at the free throw line. Palmer in the backcourt, into the front court. Gives it up right side to Shires. Shires up to the top, Garza. That Phillies defense will work in the half court with 1.5 minutes to go. Hernandez. Now to Shires. Palmer on the right wing. Hart goes for the steal, knocked it loose. Bratton with it, ahead to Mackey Hart. Mackey with 1 dribble and a layup, got the roll. Woo, was almost short there. Got it over that rim though, 23-15. 8-point Phillies lead. Bratton with a nice pass on the steal on the head, ahead to Hart there. Shires into Ford, now out, and this is Garza's 3 on its way, too strong. Mackey Hart with the rebound, tried to put it on the floor, had it tipped loose. Now she'll run down the loose ball, and Mackey with the basketball picks it up, gives it to Barnes. And a little bit out of control there from the sophomore, but she was able to run it down. Sometimes Mackey's feet get going faster than that ball will go. She outruns it every now and then. Roberts down low, couldn't get it up on the rim. Barnes with the offensive rebound, the scoop shot, and they call a travel as Madeline tried to reach around with 43.2 and get a shot up. It just wouldn't go down. Addison Pitts checks in for Shelby Roberts with 43.2 to go. 8-point game. Palmer in the backcourt, guarded by Velasquez. Palmer now trapped by Hart and Velasquez, and a reach foul called on Mackey. First personal, team's 4th. Phillies had plenty to give there, 36.3, so you gamble on the steal. Hate to give up a foul there, but not all bad with the foul count like it is. Shires, straight on look at that 3, too strong. Ford tipped it up, and a nice job of Hernandez to pull down that board. Lady Westerners get another possession with 15 seconds. Long pass to the top to Palmer as they'll look for the last shot. Garza on the drive down the lane, kicks it out. Shires, another try at 3. That one too strong. Good block out there by the Phillies. Barnes able to get it, and now Garza knocked it loose with 3.1 seconds left in an 8-point game, 23-15, and the Phillies will inbound from the baseline. Hart standing on the paint. Into Velasquez. Velasquez with 3 seconds up to the top middle of the floor, and she won't get the shot off. It was after the horn. And so the Phillies will take an 8-point lead with them to the locker room. When we come back, we'll have the Forza Site Services halftime show. It's 23-15 Shallowater on the Shallowater Sports Network.
Private gatherings or construction projects, big or small, call the experts at Forza Site Services. We provide sanitized portable restrooms and hand wash stations for all occasions. In need of a roll-off dumpster, Forza Site Services provides roll-off dumpsters for individual and construction sites used throughout West Texas. With locations throughout the Permian Basin, Pecos, and New Mexico, we can better serve our clients' needs. Since 2013, we've been a proud supporter of Shallowater ISD.
Honey, can we please just call D&K Hunt?
I can do this.
Yeah, I'm calling D&K Hunt Electric.
When you need electrical work done, leave it to the professionals and call D&K Hunt Electric, 806-866-9911.
Andress Brothers Roofing, we nail it every time. We do one thing and we do it well. Since 1981, yes, time does tell. It's not just a house, it's your home. For quality work, we stand alone. Andrus Brothers Roofing, we nail it every time. Quality guarantee, Andrus Brothers Roofing, every time.
If you're thinking of getting a new car, stop in and see us about an auto loan. Line up your money first, then go out and bargain like a cash buyer. Our rates are competitive and we make our decisions right here, so we give you quick service on auto loans. Auto loans, we do them well. We're First State Bank of Shallowater, member FDIC.
Our financial world seems to be forever changing, and that's why you need quality, personalized financial advice. Bennett & Trice, PLLC, provides individual and business clients with expertise that range from taxes, management, and accounting services to more in-depth services such as compiled and reviewed financial statements and litigation support. Bennett & Trice, 6807 Indiana Avenue, Suite 200. Call them today at 806-589-5111.
Life has been anything but normal. The future is unknown and the uncertainties are plenty. But a farmer deals with this every year, and they keep working hard. At People's Bank, we strive to live out those same values. It's easy for a banker to be there in the good times.
But at People's Bank, we're there when the rain isn't falling, the wind keeps blowing, and the drought continues.
People's Bank, a bank in the people business.
Welcome back to the Horseshoe in Shallowater. Donnie Hart on the Shallowater Sports Network, the Forza Site Services halftime show, and the Phillies with an 8-point lead, 23-15. A great defensive performance in that first half, but just really couldn't get the ball to go in the bucket. But here's hoping that changes in the second half. The Phillies 23 points, led by 7 from Jenna Willer, who also had 3 steals, 2 assists, and a couple of rebounds in that first half. Bree Bratton with 4 points, a board, a blocked shot, a couple of steals, and an assist. 4 points for Avery Velasquez as well, who had an assist. 3 points for Mackie Hart and a rebound for her tonight. This afternoon. 2 for Shelby Roberts, 2 for Madeline Barnes, and 1 from Avery Terrell. And that is how the Phillies have gotten to 23. The Lady Westerners have been really good. This is what, like we talked about, a much improved Lady Westerners basketball team. That 6-2 record coming in. They are led by McKaylin Marshall's 5 points in the first half, 3 points from Martinez, 3 from Hernandez. You've had 2 from Palmer and 2 from Faith Ford to keep them in the game. Phillies got off to a 6-0 run, but then it's kind of been back and forth. Lady Westerners cut it to 2 at the end of the first quarter. It was 13-11, but Shallowater able to extend here in that second period, push this thing up to an 8-point lead at the half at 23-15. And that Shallowater team, this is a team that doesn't have just a ton of experience, and so you can kind of maybe see some first-time jitters. A lot of guys playing a lot of minutes for the very first time here in the Horseshoe in Shallowater. Now, there are still some members of last year's ball club on this team, so a lot of girls from the roster return. You have Avery Terrell back from a year ago, Macy Moravik back from a year ago, but neither one of those two girls played just a ton of minutes. Shelby Roberts also was on the team last year, but again, another one of those Phillies that was used sparingly because of the way that the senior class dominated the minutes last year. And then you have Avery Velasquez, who steps up into a starter's role this season, along with Madeline Barnes, a couple of Phillies who were on that state championship team and have waited patiently for their opportunity to step up, and both of them are ready to go to contribute to this basketball team. So it will not just be Bratton and Willer who from last year's team will lead it. There is some experience on the floor, but you can see here early in the season some of the youth and inexperience of the Phillies that needs to be worked through. But they've got a lot of tenacity. You can see the athleticism and how fast they get up and down this floor. They scramble back on defense, and that's one thing we know about Chuck Darden basketball teams. You got to guard man-to-man and crawl up in them, and the Phillies have done that. They allowed 1 point all night against Andrews the other night, just 15 in the first half of this afternoon's game. So the defense has been as advertised. We just got to get that ball to go in the bucket. And in that first half, Willer really had the hot hand to lead the Phillies. But, you know, Bratton struggled a little bit from the floor, but she had that last shot go in, and I've said it over and over again. Bree, such a streaky shooter. When that first one goes, they usually come in bunches. And so look for Bree Bratton to be a big factor in the second half as this thing plays to a close. Well, that's it for the Forza Site Services halftime show. We come back, we'll have the second half between Shallowater and Lubbock High on the Shallowater Sports Network.
Honey, can we please just call D&K Hunt?
I can do this.
Yeah, I'm calling D&K Hunt Electric.
When you need electrical work done, leave it to the professionals and call D&K Hunt Electric, 806-866-9911.
Andress Brothers Roofing, we nail it every time, every time. We do one thing and we do it well. Since 1981, yes, time does tell. It's not just a house, it's your home. For quality work, we stand alone. Andress Brothers Roofing, we nail it every time. Quality guarantee, Andress Brothers Roofing, every time.
Well, welcome back to the Horseshoe in Shallowater. Donnie Hart on the Shallowater Sports Network. And just like to mention, in case you joined us last night or didn't join us last night, the Shallowater Mustangs football team with a big area round victory, 43-14. They beat those early Longhorns out in Clyde last night, got themselves to the regional semifinal coming up Friday. It'll be Shallowater and Whitesboro, and it'll be at Abilene Christian. So what a tremendous venue, as those guys right there on your screen responsible for big victories last night for the Mustangs, who will get a chance at the Whitesboro Bearcats and that regional semifinal round in a really cool place to play. Still trying to figure out the time, settle on it. Could be 1 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe 2. It'll be one of those two things, but it'll definitely be next week in Abilene Christian. We are back for the second half. Phillies with the starting 5 on the floor. Willer, Barnes, Roberts, and Bratton with the block shot there of Ford. Velasquez pulls down the loose ball, and so it is Willer, Velasquez, Bratton, Roberts, and Barnes on the floor for the Phillies. Palmer, Marshall, Ford, Shires, and Martinez, the starting 5 for Lubbock High, as Avery Velasquez off the glass and good. 10-point lead. Velasquez did it on the defensive end, got the reward with the layup on the offensive end. Shires had it knocked loose by Velasquez. Avery picks it up. She'll try to dribble it coast to coast. Ahead to Barnes. Barnes pulls up right in time and is banged into, fouled by Marshall. So a nice job there of Avery Velasquez seeing it, getting it ahead. Marshall called for her third. Hernandez scrambles to the table to come for the Lady Westerners, and the free throw for Barnes is off to the right. Marshall will have to set down. First team foul on the Lady Westerners as she has those 3 fouls, and Coach Palmer will try to buy some time here in this second half to keep her on the floor. She's been impactful. Barnes' second free throw no good. An empty trip for Madeline and a rebound for Ford. A little careless outlet, but Palmer able to eventually retrieve it. The entry pass towards Ford was really too tall, but Roberts jumped up and tipped it, so it goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Phillies. And Palmer will inbound. Izzy Palmer, a 5'6" freshman, sends it in. So you can see she's going to have a nice little future ahead of her. Ford, also a freshman. And those two will make a dynamic duo for Lubbock High to come. Marshall, also a freshman, and she sets with those 3 fouls. Shires now guarded by Barnes. Gives it up to Garza. Or excuse me, Hernandez is in there. Sorry, that's 5, not 11. And last touched by the Phillies as Bratton and Roberts converge on that entry pass in to Ford. So it'll be Lubbock High basketball to the left of the basket on the baseline. 10-point Shallowater lead. Palmer lobs it high for Ford, who was posted up against Willer. Big mismatch, but Bratton slides down, gets the double team, the tie ball, possession arrow to Shallowater, and the Phillies take possession. 6:33 to go, third period, 10-point lead. Willer, left wing to Barnes. Down low, Bratton going to work on the low block. Too strong off the glass. Ford with the rebound. Now stepping all over Bratton. Outlets to Palmer. Palmer will wait for her mates. Ford, right side, Martinez. Willer trying to cut her off. Martinez into the lane. Shot was wide to the left. And Roberts runs down the rebound. Still a little bit off with that offense as Willer stepping into the lane, tied up. Possession arrow to Lubbock High. And so the Phillies just can't quite get the offense started. It's been showed flashes, but just hadn't been consistent yet. Bratton steals that wild pass from Ford. Now to Velasquez on the right wing. Avery with a little stutter step. Gave it to Roberts. Shelby spinning on the low block. Out to Willer. Straight on. Look at a three. And Jenna Willer knocks it down. 13-point lead. The senior has hit from downtown. Timeout. Coach Palmer wants a full one. And the Phillies, led by Willer now, who is up to 10 points, have pushed this lead to 13 out of the timeout, or out of the halftime break. Shallowater on a nice little run here. Well, it really goes all the way back to 18 to 15. So the Phillies have really on a 10-0 run dating back to the second quarter. But they have scored 5 here early in the third to push this thing up now and give themselves a little breathing room. It's gone from 8 to 13 just like that. And we talk about this a lot on these Phillies broadcasts. This is kind of how this team rolls. You know, it's 5, it's 8, then all of a sudden it's 12. Then you look up and it's 13, and then it's 20, and so on. They just kind of steadily pull away from you, and it's because they make it so tough on the opponents to score. As the Phillies take a lot of pride in that man-to-man defense, and you can see that in full display here today. Coach Palmer trying to come up with an answer for his very young Lady Westerner team. I've been impressed with them. I think they've got a bright future with all these freshmen on the roster. You got 3 freshmen in the starting 5 for Lubbock High, 5 on the roster. So, you know, they've got a lot of future over there. They can keep these girls together. That's the issue in modern high school sports. Can you keep everybody going to the same school for the same amount of time? Out of the timeout, it'll be Garza on the right wing. Up to the top, Shires to Palmer on the left wing. Palmer steps back, looks at the 3, short. Rebound tipped and gathered in by Roberts. Willer ahead to Velasquez. Velasquez, Euro step, got bumped, fouled, and left it short, but Avery will go to the line to shoot 2. Second personal on Palmer. Second team foul. 2 shots for Avery Velasquez. And the 5'4" senior missed the first. Gentry and Garza check in. Palmer and Shires to the bench for Coach Palmer. With right at 5 minutes to go in the third quarter, and Velasquez will try to get 1 out of 2 at least. And that second free throw is good. 29-15, 14-point Phillies lead. Garza. Now Hernandez, back to Garza, wild pass. Velasquez able to get to it. Now has Willer cutting on the low block. Jenna up and is fouled and 1. Willer cuts to the low block, gets banged into, and puts it off the glass for the bucket. And she'll go to the line to try to complete the 3-point play the old-fashioned way. Give Willer 12. Called that personal on Hernandez first. And Willer good at the free throw line. 13 for Jen, 32-15. Bratton knocked it loose. Willer shares with Velasquez, missed the layup. Willer tipped it back, and Velasquez was standing on the baseline. So it'll be out of bounds on Shallowater. Lubbock High basketball. Marshall comes for Lubbock High as with 4:44 to go in the third quarter with those 3 fouls, they have to get it going here. Score update from the boys game. Mustangs 52-36 out in New Home with 5:26 to go in that one. So Jay Lusk and the boys trying to get their record up to 1-1 after the season opening loss to Lubbock Coronado, as Coach Lusk not scared to play anybody, you know that. Roberts tipped that ball loose, then was fouled over on that far side. 4th team foul on the Westerners there. They called it on Martinez, who picked up her 3rd. Willer into the front court, down the right side of the lane, sends it baseline to Roberts. Now out to Bratton, a left wing 3, way off to the left. And Roberts able to scramble in to tie up Ford and Gentry. Possession arrow belongs to the Phillies, so Shelby does a great job of saving that possession as Palmer checks back in for Allie Martinez, who continues to have a little bit of a limp after that first half fall. Into Shelby. Roberts missed the bucket. Had a bunny on that left low block. Just a little short with it. It's a good inbounds play. Got her wide open. Just couldn't convert. 32-15. Moravec to the table, waits to come in, along with Terrell. Palmer, guarded by Willer, headed towards the baseline. Now she's all kinds of trouble on that baseline trap. Ford drives with the left hand. Bratton slides in, blocks the shot, has the loose ball, and the Phillies have numbers. Bratton tries to cross it to Willer. Bow back to Bratton. Bree with a little pump fake off the glass. Good. Jenna Willer with the assist, 34-15. Nice job by Jen. And those two seniors combined for an easy bucket. Smart play there by Bree. If she'd have gone up, she might have had a shot contest, but gave the little pump fake, then had a wide open look at it. 19-point lead. Palmer for 3 on that left wing. A little step back off the screen. Knocks it down. She's got 5. First 3 points of the second half there for the Lady Westerners, and will stop the Phillies' run. 34-18. No off-ball foul called there, and Barnes is 3 wide left, out of bounds on the baseline. I think the Phillies are expecting a foul there as Willard got ran over. Terrell, Moravec, and Hart check in. Roberts, Velasquez, Barnes out, so Willer and Bratton stay. Garza goes to the bench for Lubbock High. Kanoa checks back in for them. Marshall against Hart. Gives it up to Palmer. A lot of movement, didn't accomplish much. Ford on the elbow, into the lane. Now out, Gentry from the baseline, knocked it down, that's a 2. She was inside the 3-point line, so 14-point lead, 34-20. Bratton on the right wing, now back up to the top, Willer. It'll be Terrell on the left side, into Bratton. Bratton on the low block, missed the shot off the glass. Felt like she got touched on the arm. Palmer ahead to Gentry. Gentry falls down the lane, lost it out of bounds, and they're going to say last touch by the Phillies. That's interesting. Not sure who would have touched it. And the Phillies wait to take the basketball. His Hart stood down there like, hey, I didn't touch it. No way it could have been us, but they'll say somehow or another Philly magically touched that ball. Inbounds pass is a little wild. Marshall now on the baseline, Ford and Hart, and they'll call the hold on Hart, who reached for the loose ball and caught some wrist. Second personal on Mackey. First team foul for the Phillies. Castillo checks in. She'll come for Bree. And Bratton gets a nice little hand here. Can't quite find the shot rhythm today for Bree, but she's done a lot of other things to be impactful in this matchup. Marshall. Left side, Kanoa. Now Palmer. Gentry on the near side. Marshall, entry pass to Ford. Power dribble off the glass, good. Got positioned down low and finished. Lubbock High has done some damage with those bigs. Castillo now hard on the baseline. Mackey trying to fight through traffic, knocked to the floor, and a foul called. As the foul was on Kanoa. Her second personal, team's fifth. Phillies take the ball on the baseline. Hart will send it in with 1:33 to go. 12-point lead. Willer on the left wing. Now we'll reload, set up the offense. Comes to Hart, left side. Mackey looks down low, not there. Puts it on the floor. Able to get to the loose ball. She is contested. Willer up to the top. Terrell. Avery with a good look and knocked it down. Avery Terrell got it right in the shooter's pocket. Great pass from Willer to catch her in rhythm, and bang, the three just like that, 37-22. Ford looked like a double dribble, and a foul is called, a hold, and let's see who they're going to call it on. Called on Moravec. Macy was like, I didn't touch her, she just fell down. Barnes for Willer. So Madeline will become the point guard here for the final 62 seconds of the third quarter. Palmer on the baseline to inbounds. Marshall cutting across the lane. Moravec challenges, call for the foul, and one. Good little cross pick action there in the paint. Got Marshall free, and Moravec was really in a lose situation there. Nothing she could do, held it straight up, but Marshall with the and one left the free throw short. Moravec tips it out of bounds, so it'll stay Westerner basketball. Macy picks up her second personal. Third team foul for the Phillies here as we're under a minute to go in this third quarter in a 13-point Shallowater lead. Again, Marshall with a nice strong cut. Palmer from the baseline, well off. And a rebound to Gentry as the Phillies struggling on the defensive rebound to get there. Palmer giving out instructions in the center of the floor. Shires on the right wing, sends it down low. Marshall to Ford down the lane, and a whistle and a foul call. Thought it was all ball, but they're going to call the foul there. Mackie Hart reaches in, called for the personal, her third. Team foul number 4. 34.5, 37-24. Bratton, Pitts, and McKinney set to come. Ford's free throw is too strong. Terrell, Castillo, and Moravec will have a seat. Gentry checks out of the game for Lubbock High. Martinez back in there. Ford's second free throw, too strong as well. Marshall pushing for that rebound and called for a walk. And she just kind of barreled her way in there, got the board, but then had to have gone over the back. Coach Palmer trying to get a call against Shallowater, but man, you can't just, look like a pulling right guard headed down that low paint. Bratton, cross-court pass to McKinney. 20 seconds, and the Phillies want a good shot here to end the half. Now Hart on the left wing, a three on its way, too strong. Bratton with the rebound in the paint, dumps it off to Pitts, and she's fouled with 10 seconds. Great job by Bratton, slides in there, gets the offensive glass, and then turns down the little short mid-range jumper to get a better shot to Pitts, who was fouled. And so Addison will go to the free throw line to shoot 2 here with 10.5. And Addison's Pitts free throw is good. Addie, a 5'11 sophomore. First year on the varsity, gives the Phillies a 14-point lead and got them both 39-24. She is one of the few Phillies that has some size. She will be important as her career develops. 2 seconds, Ford's three way off, and that'll do it for the third. 39-24, Shallowater by 15 on the Shallowater Sports Network.
Our financial world seems to be forever changing, and that's why you need quality, personalized financial advice. Bennett & Trice, PLLC, provides individual and business clients with expertise that range from taxes, management, and accounting services to more in-depth services such as compiled and reviewed financial statements and litigation support. Bennett & Trice, 6807 Indiana Avenue, Suite 200. Call them today at 806-589-5111.
Welcome back to the Horseshoe in Shallowater. We'll head to the fourth, the number 3 ranked team in Class 3A, Lubbock High 24, and the Phillies with that 15-point lead, led by senior Jenna Willer, 13 points, 4 assists, 3 steals, couple of rebounds for Jen. 7 points for Avery Velasquez, 6 for Bratton. Terrell has 4. 3 points for Hart, 2 for Roberts, 2 for Barnes, 2 for Pitts. 4 rebounds and a blocked shot for Shelby Roberts here tonight. Good job by Shelby. 4 steals for Bratton to lead the way in that category, and Bree has blocked 3. So we'll head to the 4th. The Phillies will send the starting 5. Velasquez, Barnes, Bratton, Roberts, and Willer. Palmer, Marshall, Martinez, Gentry, and Shires for Lubbock High. Lob in, Bratton has the steal. Bree coming down, help defense, and then lost the dribble with the left hand out of bounds. Unforced error, turnover to the Lady Westerners, and Willer gets a little chuckle at Bratton there as they walk off. Phillies have done good in the turnover battle here. Won the first half easily, but that one there, kind of an unforced error. See if the Lady Westerners can take advantage. They need points on just about every possession rest of the way. Entry pass knocked out by Robertson. Lubbock High wanting an over-the-back call, but Roberts is long and rangy. She's just jumping around that, knocking it out. There's no touch. She's no grabbing, no touching. She's just doing a nice job of denying the entry pass. Shires at the top. Willer reaches in, couldn't get the tie ball. Didn't hold it quite long enough. Shires ripped it free. Lobs it in again, Gentry. Roberts again knocks it loose. Gentry in the far corner, and that would have been a travel, and they're going to call the push on Shelby Roberts, who was trying to close out there and say she caused her to lose her balance. Full timeout from Coach Palmer, who wants to talk to his team as he understands how important these possessions are. That was Shelby's second personal, the 5th team foul for the Phillies, so they'll still have a couple of fouls, or well, at least one more foul to give before they reach the bonus. Next foul from Lubbock High will send the Phillies to the free throw line. So the final 7-13 here can be decided at the free throw line for Shallowater, so it'll be important for the Phillies to knock down free throws down the stretch. Lots of times this season they will be put in that situation. So Barnes, Velasquez, Willer, Roberts, and Bratton stay on the floor out of the timeout for Shallowater. Martinez, Shires, Palmer, Marshall, and Gentry on the floor for the Lady Westerners. Lubbock High basketball across the way in the far corner. And Shires will do the honors. Martinez. Now Palmer. Palmer guarded by Velasquez. Martinez step back 3 off to the left. High for the board is Shelby Roberts. Good, strong rebound by Shelby. Ahead to Madeline Barnes. 3-on-2 for Shallowater. Barnes down the left side of the lane. Call for the charge. Just went in a little bit out of control. Had Bratton sliding on that left wing. Calling for the ball, and Madeline decided to go to the rack. Call for the personal, her first. Team foul number 6. So now the rest of the way both teams will shoot. Ford back in, and Shires sits down. We're under 7 minutes to go, and the Lady Westerners trying to get something going on the offensive side to make this thing a contest down the stretch, make it uncomfortable at least. Gentry threw it away. Little miscommunication between her and Ford, and that pass sails into the scorer's table, so the Phillies will take the unforced error. It'll be Macy Moravik for Madeline Barnes here with 6:29 to go. So Moravik will join the other 4 starters on the floor as she replaced Barnes. Willer up to the top to Bratton. Bree back to Jen. Willer, top of the key, and the Phillies trying to set up some offense here. Good man-to-man defense by Lubbock High. They've given the Phillies some trouble with all that size. Velasquez on a little drive. Floater wouldn't go. Bratton strong for the rebound. Out to Willer. Jen turns down the 3 to Moravik on the baseline, and Macy banged into. And let's see, they're going to call the personal, I believe. Let's see, it'll be 1-1. They called it on Gentry, grabbing Macy Moravec, so Moravec will go to the line to shoot the front end of the 1-1 here, and this is where the Phillies need to make their hay in the fourth quarter. Moravec's front end, too strong, got a couple of bounces, 3 wouldn't go down, and Ford with the rebound, then had it poked out by Bratton, but it'll stay Lubbock High basketball. Boy, that ball went all the way around that rim, just couldn't find the center. So the lead will stay at 15, 39-24. There's been no blood here in the fourth quarter. Neither team able to get a bucket or a point of any sort. Roberts with the steal. Shelby, long arms, tipped that one loose, ran it down. The Phillies take possession. Willer on the drive, gives it up to Roberts. Baseline jumper off to the left. Martinez with the rebound. Palmer pushes into the front court, now to Gentry on the baseline. Gentry, pass stolen by Willer, gives it back to Moravec. Macy on the break. Macy Moravec all the way to the right hand, way too strong. Rebound tipped loose by Palmer. Crowd wanted it over the back of Velasquez, certainly looked like it. Didn't get the call, and the Lady Westerners able to retrieve the loose ball. Madeline Barnes to the table with 5 minutes. Gentry driving baseline, reverse layup, good. That was a nifty little move there from Trinity Gentry. Cuts the lead to 13, 39-26. Bratton on the right wing, screen from Moravec, steps into the 3, and it's good. 42-26, and the MVP starts to show up when you need her most. Splash Sister from downtown, 42-26. Bratton will steal the pass to the center. She'll take it with the right hand towards the basket, use the Euro step off the glass, good. And 5 quick Bree Bratton points has pushed the lead to 44-26. Palmer gives to Marshall, and Marshall hesitantly into the front court with it, and an off-ball foul called on Willer, it looks like, and so it will be 1-1. Barnes and Garza will check in, so Marshall will go to the line to shoot 1-1. Moravec will go back to the bench along with Martinez. 44-26, the lead 18 with 4:08 to go. Oh, they did call the foul on Velasquez, not Willer. Thanks, Sarah. Second personal on Avery's. Still was the 7th team foul, so the front end of the 1-1 is good. 44-27, got them both. 44-28, they put the point on the wrong person up there on the board. The home score is wrong. 44-28 is your correct score. Jake and Sarah have it. Nice job by Avery. Velasquez off the glass. (46-28), Shallowater with the lead. Palmer, top of the key. Now to Gentry. Gentry, a right wing 3 on its way, too strong. Rebound to Barnes, who catches it on run. Madeline all the way with the left hand, tried to scoop it up under and drew the foul. So Madeline Barnes will go to the line to shoot. 4th personal called on Palmer, 8th team foul. Shooting foul means 2 for Madeline Barnes regardless. She'll knock down the first. 47-28. Scoreboard still not right, but it's okay. Second free throw good as well. 20-point game, 48-28. Palmer. Cross to Marshall. Marshall. Nifty dribble into the front court. Kanoa knocks down the 3. Baseline 3 from Kanoa. She was left just wide open. Able to cut it to 17. Willer to Bratton. Final 3 minutes here. Willer, stutter step down the lane, floater with the right hand, good. 50-31, timeout. Coach Palmer wants to talk about it. So 50-31, great job by these Phillies here today. And Jenna Willer with 15 points has led the way, has 4 assists, 4 steals. Bratton starting to heat up here in the 4th. She's up to 11. Velasquez with 9. So it's been the seniors who have risen to the occasion here to push this lead up to 19. And the Shallowater faithful have stuck with them here. This is a young basketball team. They're going to get better and better and better every time out. But the one thing they have done is showed you they will guard you. And they're doing that here today. 31 points allowed, so looking right at, 15.5 points per half. Outstanding on the defensive end. More often than not, that'll get you W's whether the offense is clicking or not. And in the second half, it's been just good enough for Shallowater. Marshall, Palmer, Gentry. Hawkins checks in there for the first time for the Lady Westerners as well. Gentry now to Hawkins. Hawkins to Palmer on the near side. Phillies with the starting 5 on the floor. Palmer's jumper off the back of the iron, tipped around, pulled in, and a foul. As Marshall had the rebound, was going back up with that left hand, and Bree had to reach in and foul her. First personal on Bree, 8th team foul. Final score from New Home. The Mustangs win it 65-58. Jay Lusk and company moved to 1-1. Marshall misses the first. It'll stay 50-31. Second free throw from Marshall on its way good. Marshall will be replaced in the lineup there by Shires as she heads to the bench. And the Phillies here with 2:25 to go in the 4th. Willer into the front court. Now Velasquez on the right wing. Velasquez pass tipped by Palmer and goes out of bounds on the far side. Macy Moravik checks back in for the Phillies. She'll replace Shelby Roberts. Barnes into Velasquez. Velasquez guarded by Palmer. Velasquez almost slipped in the middle of the floor. Palmer doing a good job trying to get that 5-second call. Velasquez still dribbling and had it kicked out of bounds. Phillies were trying to come over and help her, and they're going to call a foul and a push on Kanoa. So 1-1 sends Avery Velasquez to the line. 3rd personal, 9th team foul next will be a double bonus. As Mackie Hart sets to check in for the Phillies with 2:05 to go. The front end for Velasquez off to the right. Hawkins with the rebound. Kanoa in the backcourt, picked up by Barnes. Brings it across the timeline, now to Palmer, center of the floor. Gentry on the right wing. Gentry, Palmer on the left side. Asking for a screen from Gentry. Moravik, good job at the top of the key. Hawkins. Now Shires, and the Phillies just continue to guard that perimeter. Keep that defense tight. Ball is loose. Shire has to go to the floor. Traveled. Willer tipped it loose. The ball is on the deck. You got no choice but to dive for it. Hart and Castillo come for Velasquez and Moravik to join Barnes, Willer, and Bratton. Also checking in for Lubbock High, Ashley McKee. Avery Terrell now to the table to come for the Phillies' next dead ball. Willer. Tipped loose by Hawkins over on the far side. Avery Terrell checks in for Bree Bratton. Addison Pitts pulled back from the table, so she won't come just yet. Willer with 1:15 to go on the drive down the left side of the lane. Left hand too strong. Kanoa with the rebound. Terrell tips it free, has it. Now out to Hart in the center of the floor, and a timeout from Chuck Darden, a 30-second timeout. He wants, mainly this I think is more sub-related. He wants to make sure Addison Pitts gets in here for the final minute 4 of this thing. Chloe McKinney will run to the table to check in. So 50-32 Phillies by 18. And so Shallowater looks like they're headed for a 2-0 start for sure. The Phillies will go to 2-0, the number 3 ranked team in the state. Coming up after the game, we'll try to have head coach Chuck Darden on the Paint Doctor postgame show, along with the D&K Hunt Electric player of the game. And we'll try to get a couple of these Phillies to join us as well, so stick around for that. Final minute here in the Horseshoe. Pitts on the right elbow. Gives it up, Terrell, pump fakes the 3, drives into the lane, left hand layup, good. Avery Terrell put it on the floor, went to the basket, got the bucket, 52-32. 20-point Shallowater lead. Hawkins on the right wing for the final 38 seconds. Kanoa works against Pitts. Now to the top, Palmer. Palmer backing it out, comes to Hawkins. Kanoa drives baseline, cut off by McKinney. 20 seconds to go here. Palmer back to Hawkins. Entry pass stolen by Castillo. Jasmine up the floor into the front court and is fouled as Kanoa stepped in and fouled her, and with 10.3 to go, Jasmine Castillo will go to the line to shoot double bonus. 4th personal on Kanoa. 10th team foul. 10.3 seconds. The double bonus won't last long here tonight, or this afternoon. Phillies headed to 2-0. And Castillo hits the first. Next Shallowater broadcast will be Monday. The Big Spring Lady Steers will be in the Horseshoe. Join us here on the Shallowater Sports Network for that. Phillies will play 2 over the Thanksgiving week. They'll head to Midland Christian on Tuesday as Castillo got them both. Final 10 seconds, Palmer into the front court. And Palmer will dribble it out. Long 3 at the buzzer, no good, and that'll do it. Phillies 54-32. They win it by 22, and when we come back, we'll have the Paint Doctor post-game show on the Shallowater Sports Network.
Honey, can we please just call D&K Hunt?
I can do this.
Yeah, I'm calling D&K Hunt Electric.
When you need electrical work done, leave it to the professionals and call D&K Hunt Electric, 806-866-9911.
Andress Brothers Roofing, we nail it every time, every time. We do one thing and we do it well. Since 1981, yes, time does tell. It's not just a house, it's your home. For quality work, we stand alone. Andress Brothers Roofing, we nail it every time. Quality guarantee, Andress Brothers Roofing, every time.
If you're thinking of getting a new car, stop in and see us about an auto loan. Line up your money first, then go out and bargain like a cash buyer. Our rates are competitive and we make our decisions right here, so we give you quick service on auto loans. Auto loans, we do them well. We're First State Bank of Shallowater, member FDIC.
Our financial world seems to be forever changing, and that's why you need quality, personalized financial advice. Bennett & Trice, PLLC, provides individual and business clients with expertise that range from taxes, management, and accounting services to more in-depth services such as compiled and reviewed financial statements and litigation support. Bennett & Trice, 6807 Indiana Avenue, Suite 200. Call them today at 806-589-5111.
Life has been anything but normal. The future is unknown and the uncertainties are plenty. But a farmer deals with this every year, and they keep working hard. At People's Bank, we strive to live out those same values. It's easy for a banker to be there in the good times.
But at People's Bank, we're there when the rain isn't falling, the wind keeps blowing, and the drought continues.
People's Bank, a bank in the people business.
Dr. Postgame Show. I'm Donnie Hart here on the Shallowater Sports Network with the victorious head coach and coach Chuck Gardner. Home opener victory 54-32. The Phillies win here today. This team, you say, you got to play defense to grow up.
I'm so proud of our defense. You want the last one? The Lubbock Tide's good. There's no way of being for it all year long. That was a really good win for us. I think offensively, free throws are you Lubbock for us.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit here off camera. Big crowd here tonight or this afternoon for the home opener. Boy, you got a lot of time to fill out.
It's great. We've had such great support throughout the years. Yeah, we had a big crowd here for the new game. It's fun to play. It's playing the horseshoe here. I told the kids that before the game. They love playing here. I love coaching here. Great crowd. Home crowd helps us.
Great job, Coach. Congratulations on the victory. And joining me also here is the second
One. It is on input one.
It is on input one.
Talk about just what it's like for you now, really stepping into that starting lineup and being a leader for this basketball.
Yeah, it's a lot different coming off the bench last year. It's a bigger role. Understanding defense, that's what I did. Sometimes I do other stuff. I try to understand what I do.
Yeah, and we talked about the fact that you might be as improved a player as there is in this area, and you certainly had a great summer. You've gotten off to a great start this year. Talk about how having so many young Phillies it is, and what the responsibility you have in terms of teaching those girls how to play this guy.
Yeah, we were there. They kind of look up to us, kind of show them how it's done. They're going to be in our spots soon. So just got to kind of lead them.
Great job, Andrew. Congratulations. Also joining me, the D&K Hunt Electric Player of the Game, Jenna Willard tonight this afternoon for the Phillies. Outstanding job for Jenna. She shoots it great tonight as well and leads her team in scoring. Had some rebounds, assists. They say you're 5'4" in the program. 5'2", you get in the paint and mix it up there. Talk about your responsibility as a senior leading this team.
Well, we're super diverse this year. There's not a lot of returning. So we have a new team, so it's just our job as seniors to step in and show the ropes and get everybody going.
We'll keep doing that. You played a lot of basketball this year, senior season. How would you like to see this season end for you and the Phillies being
San Antonio with the ring on her finger.
Jenna Willard, a lady of few words, has a big game though. Congratulations. D&K Hunt Electric, player of the game. Jenna Willard leads the Phillies today in scoring. Outstanding job shooting the basketball. Jenna with 15 points to lead all scorers tonight for the Phillies as they get the big home victory and Shallowater goes to 2-0. Our next Shallowater Sports Network broadcast will be Monday, right back here in the Horseshoe in Shallowater. A noon tip-off. The Big Screen Lady Steers in town to do battle against your Shallowater Phillies. And don't forget, coming up next Friday, the regional semifinal, Whitesboro Bearcats, Shallowater Mustangs, all found on Shallowater Sports Network. So stick around over the Thanksgiving break to keep up with all the action. I want to thank all the guys involved, Angel Flores, Logan Bloom for doing an outstanding job with the camera. Thanks to Sarah Batson who kept the stats and to Jake Warren who produced it. We certainly hope you enjoyed it. It's been a great day to be a Shallowater Philly. For everybody involved, I'm Donnie Hart saying so long, folks.
Davis, and he threw it out of the gym. Will shoot the three. Nobody came to stop her.